So guys, this is the original Osmo Action, DJI Osmo Action 1. This is the original. If you've been following along, you know I've had a problem with my DJI Action 2, so I've reverted back, and DJI has not taken care of this yet. So just FYI, I'll keep you posted if anything changes. So I went back to using my DJI Osmo Action 1 for a few weeks, and I thought it'd be a good idea to do a little review on what I think of it in 2023. So I've been using this for over 3 years. I bought it in May of 2020, and I liked it so much that last year when we went on a cruise, I bought 2 more from B&H, and that way the 3 of us all had a camera and we could film everything, and the colors matched, and it was just, they're really easy cameras to use. They're really easy, really intuitive menu system. They're great little reliable cameras. So the reason why I picked this one, number one reason why I picked this one when I bought it, the first one, and is because it wasn't GoPro. I had so many problems with my GoPros. I had 2 GoPros, got sucked in twice, and both times I had problems with the GoPro freezing, or it would record a black screen the whole time, and it didn't give you any indication that it wasn't recording. Incredibly frustrating when you're trying to, you know, shoot something that's important and you think you got it, and you go back into editing and it's just a black screen. And worse, I discovered that these problems are problems that GoPros had for years and years and years, and they just never fix. They just come out with a new GoPro and ask you to buy it, and it ends up having the exact same problems. That bugged me, so I was ready to buy anything but a GoPro, and so I did. And yeah, that was probably the number one reason I bought the first one. I also like the fact that it shot 4K 60 pretty continuously. It will overheat, but it takes a lot of work to get it to overheat. It has excellent stabilization called Rock Steady, and then it has this front-facing screen, which is really, really nice. Now, after owning it, there's more stuff that I've grown to like about it, and I'll talk more about this later in the video, but the number one thing I like about it is just how robust it is. This feels like a solid camera, you know? This feels like it'd be very, very hard to break. And it's been incredibly reliable. Like, I trust this camera, and that's saying a lot. I also like, especially after using the GoPro, or the Osmo Action 2, Freudian slip there, with this one button, I like having multiple buttons. Like here's an on button, and then here's the record button, and they call it snapshot. If you hit record, the camera will immediately power up, and then it will start recording like immediately. So you don't waste any time fumbling around with buttons like powering it on and then hitting record like you have to do with this one. The other thing that has on it that's really nice is it has this quick switch button right here. So if you press this button on the side, okay, the camera will automatically reverse, and you can see yourself. Hello. That's really nice if you're underwater, because then, you know, or you're in a situation where you can't use the flippy screen or the touch screen to make those changes. You're automatically able to, with a hard button, you can swap it like underwater or anything like that. I think you get my point. Now, there are some things I don't like about this camera. I don't like the fact that actually the audio is pretty good on it. The audio is pretty good on it. Sorry, I have a glare, so I have to like move to the side to be able to see it. But even though the audio sounds good, the wind noise is really, really bad. If you get any wind at all, you can't hear anything. So that's a problem. I don't like using cages at all, or thumb screws. That probably wouldn't have bothered me, except, you know, having used this for a few weeks, you just can't beat this. Like, being able to add and remove cameras and swap out mounts without having to do all the unscrewing, it's hard to come back from that, you know. And then this is kind of a funny one, but like, there's grid lines so that you can frame up your shots correctly, and you can see that from the back when the camera's on, obviously, but when you flip it around, you can't see it from the front. I would find that very, very useful. So those are like my quick 3 things I love, 3 things I hate, and we'll get into more of this stuff later in the video. But for now, yeah, this is what we're going to talk about today. All right, guys, this is it. This is the image straight out of camera. This is the audio straight out of camera. We got a little wind today, so you might get to hear that. Doesn't handle wind very well, unfortunately. But this is 4K 60 with rock steady on. This is literally, you're on a selfie stick, but you're literally, I mean, this is the distance you would be at if I was holding the camera just in my hand, okay? So we'll do some running around with this later, and then I'll come back and give you my final thoughts. There are some weird things I'm going to share with you later, but yeah, this is just a sample image. I'll tell you what, I like the front facing screen, even though I've sensed myself staring at it. It can be a distraction, but it allows you to frame yourself up. It is bright, it's easy to read, that's nice. I like having batteries again, coming from the Action 2. You know, being able to swap batteries is nice. Having 3 buttons on top is nice. Having tally lights where you can see if you're recording, super duper helpful. That has saved my butt a couple of times. So like having tally lights. The modern conveniences of these action cameras are really, really nice. I like this focal length. I mean, it's not wide enough for action-y stuff, but to be able to walk around and get this, you know, this bust, like this medium close-up, it looks nice. I think it looks nice for this exact type of thing. Let me think, what else? I mentioned the tally lights, change batteries. Okay, and I really like the Osmo app. The Mimo app, it's controversial because they kind of require you to register at the beginning when you buy one of these, and that's totally valid, full stop. However, once you get past that and start using the app, it's very intuitive. It updates the software automatically and quickly, you know, and you don't have to read a manual to understand how it works. Gives you full control. Again, connects quickly. It's a good app. So those are my pros. Now, my cons. Footage can be a little mushy at times. Oh, there's some wind, so I don't know if you can hear that or not. But footage can be mushy at times. There's also kind of a magenta shift in the color, which if you don't have a lot of magenta in your skin tone, that can actually be flattering because it looks like you actually have more blood going through your circulation, you know, because your options are magenta or green. That's the spectrum. Green just doesn't look as healthy often as magenta, but if you're somebody who's kind of pink complected like me, this is what you get, super red face. So if you're going to use this right out of camera, that's something important to think about. The other thing is it wants to expose for the sky regardless, and if you're not in full sun, like I'm in the shade, it is going to underexpose your face. So if you're going to use this right out of camera, you're going to need to bump up your exposure, which is super easy to do. This is exposure bumped up to 1, and I still don't think it's exposing for my face right, judging by the screen. So just keep that in mind. If you don't bump up the exposure and you're not in full sun, you get this look like you're definitely in the dark, and it's just the problem with these cameras. They just don't have a lot of dynamic range. So a couple other things I don't like. It just takes forever to offload footage. I am glad we can do that with USB-C, and I'm glad it charges at the same time. That's super convenient, but it takes a day. So the good news is if you have a lot of stuff you want to offload, you can just pop out the little micro SD card and do it that way. I just hate micro SD cards, but it's nice that it's there. And I do miss having internal storage like the Osmo Action 2 has. That and the magnetic case that doesn't require, or the magnetic attachment mount that doesn't require any kind of case. It's hard to come back from that, it really is. Another upside of this is when you format, when you format the camera, it doesn't start over with your numbering, so it'll continue numbering, so you don't end up with, over time, you don't end up with, you know, 500 clips that are DJI _0001, you know, because that can get confusing, especially when you're editing, and if you have multiples of those, it catches up to you, so you have to do some renaming. You don't have to mess with this. So let's take this out, let's do some experimenting, playing around. We'll come back. I have some weird stuff I want to share with you about this camera, and then I'll give you my final thoughts. That was final thoughts, in case you didn't hear me. Okay, sit. Good, sit. You're such a good sitter. All right. Smokey, can you speak? Speak? Yeah. Good, speak. Good boy, buddy. Good boy. All right. You want to do some more tricks? All right. Sit. Do we have a deal? Huh? We have a deal? Yeah, we got a good deal. We got a good deal. That was a good deal for me. All right. Can you right turn, left turn, left turn? No. No. Left turn. Now, take a bow. Oh, good. Take a bow. Good boy, buddy. Good boy. All right. Now let's do the hard trick. Ready? Sit. Down. Stay. Stay. Don't eat the chicken. Nope. Stay. 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 Do you want to eat the chicken? Do you want to eat? That's the chicken. Right there. You can't eat the chicken. You're not supposed to eat the chicken. Be a good boy. Don't eat it. It's right there, though. It's right there, though. Okay. Good boy, Smokey. Good boy, buddy. Here they come. They were all hiding because all the mowers are out. Hi, guys. Come on. I'm off to pick up the boy.
Okay.
What?
I'm laughing because I threw the ball and apparently and it's the spot where Smokey can't get to it. So he's really kind of stressed out right now.
Poor stressed out doggy. What are you gonna do? Oh, it's very nice for it not to be 108, but it will be 108 on Friday. Gonna pick up the kid. All right, this is nice because again, when I'm recording, all I have to do, when I need to record, all I have to do is press one button, you know, so the camera goes from off all the way to recording as fast as possible. I really, really like that. So I also like that, you know, I have a bigger screen, so it's easier to see what I'm doing. It just makes life easier. The other thing that's undeniable about this is like the stabilization in these cameras, and even this one that's like 2-3 years old is just great. I mean, the horizon for the most part stays very level. It does make it look like your arms or your hands are bouncing around a little bit in this scene, but I don't know, there's just a steadiness to the shot that it takes the jitters out. It feels less hectic. It feels less chaotic, and I kind of like that. I think stabilization is one of the most important parts of having good video, and being able to do that without a gimbal is really, really nice, even in a cheap older camera like this. Here we go. Here he is again.
Go fast. We have to beat the other ridge line.
I know. Hurry, hurry, hurry.
Go.
There's another one of us right there. Uh-oh.
Deja vu. I have been in this place before.
Uh-oh.
We have to beat them.
We beat them. Sucks to be you. Say bye to your friends. Okay, how was your day today?
Good.
Good.
I mean, okay. I mean, I still have work to do.
All right. Thanks for the update. So one thing I noticed is that the audio in all of this video has been straight out of camera. And I noticed it was a little softer. So what I did to compensate for that was I brought down the camera levels on all these like shots like this, because I don't want you to have to keep adjusting your volume up and down, but it does clean up nice. I do a little bit of processing on every video, and I've always been happy with the end result, but I didn't want you guys to hear the process version, because what good would that do you if you're thinking about getting this camera? So just so you know that, you know, going into this. Now, a couple of things I want to, you know, make sure you know. This does get really warm, especially right around the lens. It's not going to burn you, but yeah, it does get hot. You know it's hot, or you know it's on when it's working. The speaker playback when you're listening to your videos out in the field, just not very loud. It just isn't. It needs to be louder. In fact, if you're like anywhere where there's outside noise, ambient noise, you're probably not going to be able to hear it very well. It'd be fine in a car, but if you're out and there's traffic or there's people, nah, So that's not going to work. And I believe they've improved on this with the newer models, but that's just something to be aware of. Now, here's a couple of strange things about this particular camera. This lens is cockeyed. Like it like kind of just goes this way a little bit. I mean, not enough that it's like a huge problem, just enough that like when I feel like I'm pointing the camera directly at me, I'm not, and I kind of had to do that to get myself centered on the screen. And so I checked with, I have 3 of these, like I said, I have 3 of these. I checked with the other ones and it hasn't been a problem. It wasn't a problem with the other ones. So this may just be this particular camera, but you know, if you got one like that, I just wanted to let you know. I just wanted to let you know you're not the only one. The other thing is, I mentioned you need to bump up the exposure if you are in shade and there's, you know, instead of in full sun. That's super easy to do. You basically just slide over and hit the EV button and raise it up to 1. The weird thing that I noticed was sometimes that comes undone when I change the frame rates, or maybe it's the resolution. I honestly, I can't repeat it. I just know that sometimes it stays at 1 and sometimes it resets itself to 0. So I don't know what the rhyme or reason is. You just need to check it. So there may be a pattern that I just haven't picked up on, but I just know that sometimes it changes itself, sometimes it doesn't. And I tested turning it off and on. I tested different frame rates, different resolutions, and I actually don't know what causes it to change. All I know for sure is that every now and then I need to go back and check it. So that's one weird thing. And then the last thing, this still, I mean, it's an older camera, but I mean, it's 2023 and I feel like we're past this. It breaks up clips into 20 or 4 gigabyte, is that it? Yeah, gigabyte chunks. And so that means if you're shooting 4K 60 or 4K 100, that means every 5 minutes and 27 seconds, it's going to split this up into multiple clips. Now, at least it makes it easy to see in the files when you do that. It's clearly numbered when it in a way that lets you know that it split the clip. So you can put it back together, but you don't, you know, I would rather it not. I would rather let's all cross our fingers and say our prayers and send DJI notes saying, can you stop that? Because it's a hassle, and it shouldn't be happening in 2023. If it's happening on the new cameras, it's definitely time for them to rewrite their software, because that's just silly. And I know the Osmo Action 2 did the same thing, so that's why it's on my radar. So in conclusion, do I recommend this camera? Well, first off, in conclusion, I apologize for the OCD people in the group. I'll just get that out of the way. But in conclusion, do I recommend this camera in 2023? You better believe it. Like, now, the crazy thing is these are sometimes selling more than the newer ones. They cost more. Like on Amazon right now, they're $329. I don't recommend them for $329. I do recommend them for $150, maybe used or on eBay. I see them all the time like that. I would buy that in a heartbeat. But if you're gonna spend $300, like you know, you got to start thinking about the newer cameras at that point. Now, because it's not just the cameras itself you're going to be investing in, it's also the batteries. Like the reason I have 18 batteries here is because I found this whole unit with the 3 batteries is on sale right now for I'll put a link to it below, $12.50, something like that. So I could buy 9 batteries and 3 battery cases for basically the price of 1 battery for the Osmo Action 3 or 4. That's the advantage of getting something that's at the end of its life cycle. The disadvantage is a lot of the accessories and stuff are disappearing off the market, and the camera itself is becoming more and more rare. But yeah, I will always have these. It probably won't always be my first choice, but it will be my first choice when it comes to doing stuff dangerous, reckless, underwater. If I'm going to strap a camera to the hood of the car or underneath the car, or all the crazy stuff you sometimes do with cameras, these would be my first choice. These are great. This is the minimum level of quality that I accept and I am happy with, and I will never ever get rid of these, because I don't think I'll ever need to upgrade for my crash cams, for my crazy cams, for the ones that I think are going to break maybe possibly at some point and so I'm doing stupid stuff because I'm doing stupid stuff with them. Oh my gosh, I totally recommend them for that. And like I said, I mean, you saw the footage. If that works for you, for your main day-to-day cam, if you can get a good deal on it, I would say pick it up in a heartbeat, because, and I wouldn't go any cheaper, because I think this is about as good as it gets for that used sub $150 price, if that makes sense. So yeah, guys, I'll have links below for everything. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe, hit that like button, share this, and I'll keep you posted on what I decide to do in the future, whether I'm going to stick with this, get my Action 2, if you guys have been following along, get my Action 2 fixed, or upgrade to the something bigger, better. You know the drill. So thanks for watching, guys.